All right, today we're going to talk about something that a ton of people deal with, but almost no one really understands. We're going to pull back the curtain on hair loss and show you why it might just be the most important warning sign your body ever gives you, one that most of us just ignore. Let's dive in.
So let's start with the big question. Is hair loss really just about losing your hair? You see a few more strands in the drain, you figure, I'm just getting older. But what if it's not that simple? What if it's a message, a sign from deep inside your body that we've all been taught to just cover up?
Think about it. When someone first notices their hair is thinning, what's the knee-jerk reaction? It's a trip to the store for some special shampoo, right? One that promises to thicken, restore, and work miracles.
And when the shampoos don't quite cut it, well, we level up to lotions and all kinds of topical treatments. They feel a little more heavy-duty, more direct, but we're still just fighting the battle from the outside.
And then, of course, the creams. By this point, you've spent a lot of time and probably a lot of money treating the symptom, the hair you can see, without ever once asking why it's happening in the first place. Sound familiar?
So, here's the million-dollar question. Why do all these outside solutions so often fail? The answer is pretty wild. It's not about the products. It's because the problem doesn't actually start on your scalp.
To really get it, we've got to look past the hair on the brush. We have to go deeper and look at the system-wide issues that are the real cause of the problem.
Okay, now check this out, because this is mind-blowing. Studies comparing food from the 1950s to today found a shocking drop in nutrition. Get this. To get the same vitamins and minerals from one apple back then, you'd have to eat 3 of them today. 3! We're eating way more, but we're getting way, way less of the essential building blocks our bodies need.
And this is where we have a fundamental misunderstanding of what baldness even is. It's not about your hair follicles just up and dying. A healthy hair has a life cycle of about 6 years, but in what we call baldness, that cycle can shrink down to just a few months. The hair becomes so tiny and weak that it doesn't even have the energy to break through the skin, so it looks like it's gone.
So, if the problem isn't on the surface, the solution can't be either. It has to come from somewhere deeper. And this brings us to the main point of this whole explainer. Real, lasting health always starts from the inside out.
I love this quote because it just says it all. You can damage hair from the outside with heat and chemicals, sure, but you can't create strong, healthy hair by rubbing something on your scalp. True growth, real life, that has to come from an internal force, from the health you build inside your body.
And that's exactly why those lotions and potions fail. They're an outside fix for an inside problem. They just can't get deep enough to reach the actual cells, the little mitochondria power plants where the energy for hair growth is made. It's like trying to fix your car's engine by waxing the hood.
This is where it all clicks. The health of your hair is a direct, unfiltered reflection of the health of your cells. It's that simple, but it's also that profound.
Let's break it down. First, things like poor nutrition cause our mitochondria, the power plants in our cells, to weaken. They just produce less energy. So step 2, the cells in our hair follicles don't get enough power to do their job. And what's the outcome? The hair itself becomes too weak to grow and its life cycle just completely collapses.
So the only logical conclusion is, you can't fix the hair until you fix the engine that builds it. And the only way to refuel that engine is from the inside, through proper nutrition that gets delivered to every single cell in your body.
But wait, you say, what about the ultimate fix, the hair transplant? Well, while it might seem like the perfect solution, it could actually be a pretty dangerous illusion.
Here's the thing about a transplant. It's pure cosmetics. You're just moving hair from a good spot to a thinning spot. It creates a fantastic illusion of health, but it does absolutely nothing to fix the underlying cellular weakness that made the hair fall out in the first place.
And this is where it gets genuinely scary. Studies show a direct link between early hair loss and a way higher risk for some really serious conditions. We're talking vascular disease, cancer, diabetes, endocrine disorders. Suddenly, hair loss isn't just a cosmetic issue. It's a massive red flag for your overall health. And that leads to a really chilling realization. By covering up the symptom with a transplant, you're basically hitting the mute button on one of your body's most important fire alarms. You look in the mirror, everything looks fine, so you stop worrying, all while the real internal problem is still there, developing completely unnoticed.
This all brings us to our final and honestly our most important takeaway. It's time we start seeing our appearance not as vanity, but as a direct report on our internal health.
The scientific term is phenotype. All your observable traits, like your skin,
your eyes, and yes, your hair. And your phenotype is the most brutally honest health report you will ever get. In many ways, it's more telling, more real-time than any lab test.
Ultimately, it really comes down to this simple truth. Looking healthy and being healthy aren't two different things. They're one and the same. A vibrant, strong appearance on the outside is just the natural result of a body that is working beautifully on the inside. So, the next time you look in the mirror, don't just see a reflection. See a report card. And instead of asking, how can I cover this up, ask yourself a much better question. What is my body trying to tell me? Because listening to that answer, that could change everything.